Well, I'm joined here by another one of our great mentors. So Clint Vosloo is here thankfully at SAPinsider in Singapore, so he's a long way from home. And we're also joined by this annoying duck. But it has significance, right? It's all about getting some ducks in the water, getting started with your projects and with communication and really building the sense of community. So again, this is all about introducing the community to the different mentors, right? Clint is very active in blogging and tweeting and podcasting and kind of all the different social means. So Clint, I know you were here, you had a couple sessions. Do you have one more tomorrow? Or?
One more tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about running HANA in the cloud with Amazon. I did the BI4 upgrade conversation today, which is just rife. I think everybody's sort of been, from what I've picked up, two things. They've been waiting for BI4 to get a bit more stable, which we think it is now, but also they're in a situation where they've had business objects for many years and they need to sanitize the environment. And as much as I'm an IT nerd, I try to bring the business actors, and I'm really sort of pleading with them, say don't just move everything, don't just move house and take all your baggage with you. Really try to clean up shop, run a leaner BI4 system and get better user adoption. So it's pretty similar to what's happening in Africa, where people are kind of starting to plan for BI4, and I think especially with Visi, which is my newfound pet coming into BI4 with the Explorer on the mobile, I think it's time to go now. Good. As I said to them, it's in South Africa for the World Cup, there was a whole thing called Kaneko for the football. The time is now. So I had a little slide up with a mascot saying Kaneko. It's time to go.
Well, that's good. That's good. And obviously you have a very unique perspective because you've been in lots of different markets and stuff, right? So maybe for other reasons as well. But we're going to stay on that tangent. So tell me, kind of what's your observations? I mean, we hear from a lot of people that the audience is maybe a little bit more timid. They're afraid to ask questions. What have you kind of seen transpire over the last couple of days?
This is the first. As I said to you, this is my 5th continent this year in terms of conferences. So I'm on a bit of a roadshow, but there seems to be a general pickup over the first day, so everybody didn't really get the sense of community and the collaboration. And in my session, it almost at the end, the Q&A became an open discussion where I was trying to pull some of the other mentors in to get information. So, and over lunch today also, there's just seemed a bit more of a buzz, and guys are kind of sharing stories and walking down the path. And I think people are quite inhibited, and I can understand that from an African perspective of, us and SAP and the mentors openly sharing, information.
Yep.
Like, he has a project plan, he has a guide, he has a wiki, this is a blog, and they were like quite taken back that there's so much freely information available. So it's going to be good. I think this event's going to go from strength to strength in the region. It's desperately needed, so it's a good time.
No, that's great. That's great. And I think, I talk about the mentors often, right? I think that the power, the access, the influence, the experience that you collectively bring, right? Now there's 110 of all of you globally in all very different areas. So take me a little bit of just kind of your background. Like, when did you start with SAP? How did you get started? What do you focus on?
So I'm in SAP through, I suppose, a divorce, so to speak, or a remarriage, 2nd or 3rd. So I've been using Sybase technology since 1997, so it's 15 years now. Business object space from about 2002. So I've got sort of a long history with an enterprise data warehouse background, which is not very classic SAP. Yep. I think it's quite similar to what this region runs at the moment. So I've come into the SAP world through acquisition, as I think a lot of people have, and it's been an interesting road. I think it's been a bumpy road in terms of what the roads be, but I think from my world, the Sybase and the business objects products are starting to bring them together and actually make sense of working together. My Sybase IQ, I plug it in everything, but that whole analytics, I think it's what, Analytics Plus or whatever it's called, where they're bundling data services, IQ and BobJ, all in one package for a customer. That's just, I wrote a blog about it a couple of months, pleading at SAP, saying you've got damn good technology, just start using it and putting it together. So I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And earlier today in the DS Layer interview, we talked about we have these 5 pillars, and I know we don't want to talk about those. I clearly understand that, but it's the convergence of these that really make the story hunt, right? So especially like mobility and in-memory, whatever you choose for in-memory, and your analytics, and creating a very context-specific or role-specific application, and I think that's really what we've been starting to talk about. So one last question before we wrap. So tell us a little bit, something about yourself that most people don't know. And again, this is going to be aired, so you guys may want to think about that for a moment.
So what most people don't, probably one of the best times of my life. It was a very, very long time ago. I drove around a van in America for 6 months. So I used to be an aspiring rugby player, and I used to go play rugby in America for a couple of months every year. And my wife, now girlfriend at the time, we bought a van for $600 in a town called No Name, Colorado. And we drove around America, strangely enough, sleeping in rest stops, which is probably not the safest and the best thing to do.
Certainly not now.
And believably, I'm very lucky to be alive, but as I said, I'm from Africa, so we built a bit tougher, I think. And it's very, very fond of America, spent a lot of time there, and it was just one of the best experiences of my life, you know. No children, no responsibility. It was just very, very good time. So that's something unique, I guess, about me.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. And again, thank you so much for being here for the first ever Insider event. I think it's great. And I think this will really help instill the sense of community that we desperately need. So, Clint, thank you so much.
Thanks to you.
All right, thanks.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thanks.